Hello, Blake Rudis here with F64Academy.com, and today I want to show you how you can get yourself on the web in about 5 to 10 minutes with your Adobe Creative Cloud subscription. It's all included now. You got this nice space on the web with a beautiful gallery and even a place where you can put your About section and your blog, maybe even be able to get some contacts through this, put this on your business card. Awesome stuff right here. So make sure you watch this because there's no excuse in 2016 why you shouldn't have your space on the web. All right, so last month I received an email from Adobe. Like most of us receive emails from Adobe on a monthly, sometimes a weekly basis. Most of them I delete, but this one was actually really important. It's called Adobe Portfolio. What is it? Well, if you are a Creative Cloud subscriber, not only do you get the latest and greatest photo editing software on the planet, like Photoshop, and one of the best cataloging softwares on the planet and raw editors, Lightroom, you also get this Adobe Portfolio. It's right there in your Creative Cloud subscription. So what is it? Well, this is a way that you can create a space on the web. And I can tell you right now that this could be one of the most important things that you do. Get yourself a space on the web. Why? Well, because I wouldn't be here right now talking to you via my webcam in my office if it wasn't for me having a place on the web to begin with. So I'm going to walk you through how I made my place on the web using the Adobe Portfolio. So let's go ahead and press this Get Started. This is right here within the email. So when you press Get Started, it's going to take you to the Adobe Portfolio website, www.myportfolio.com. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and edit Portfolio. Now I've already set up kind of some small pieces here and there, so it's going to jump right into my portfolio. For you, it's probably going to ask you, what layout do you want to use first? Well, right here on this side of the house, if you go to switch layouts, this is probably what you're going to see when you first start. Now there's several different layouts here. I like this one. I'm going to call it Matthias, whatever, Matthias. We'll call it Matthias, okay? So I like this portfolio, so I'm just gonna go ahead and keep the one I have here. If at any time you wanna change your layout though, just come over to this side and it'll let you change your layout and everything will just kind of switch over. So if we go over to this, let's look at how this looks first, because this is kind of like website building. However, it's a lot easier and a little bit more user-friendly than most website builders I've used. So over here on the left-hand side, you have several things. You have add content. This is where you're going to add anything to this sidebar here and the content onto the page. And then over here, you have manage content. This is after you've created it, you can manage it. You can move things around. You can even add content from there. Here you have edit settings. Now, if you have a Google Analytics, which that's one of those things that you'll get into if you really want to get deep into this, you can sign up for Google Analytics to see how many people are coming to your site. You can put that little tracking code right here and you can create that. That's totally optional though, and something that I would look into on another tutorial because this one is not really geared towards that. Now here you have your landing page. You can make a custom landing page. So say you don't want them to land on the projects page, maybe you want them to land on your About Me page. This is where you would change that, okay? Your domain name. By default, your domain name is going to be whatever you want that to be. You can only change your portfolio one time. So mine is now http://blakerudis.myportfolio.com. That is what I would use. Now you can change this, but only once. So make sure it's a good one. I changed mine to my name so that I could reserve my name in the myportfolio.com website here. So even if you don't build this out, what I would suggest you do is come in here if you have a Creative Cloud membership and reserve your name, okay? But down here I have a custom name. I've created blakerudis.com. So if you have your own domain name, you can add that here. And I will show you another tutorial here on how you can get your own custom domain name attached to here, okay? So mine's gonna be blakerudis.com, okay? I'll just press apply. So I'll show you how to get your own GoDaddy account here. Okay, there's gonna be another tutorial that you can watch after this that'll show you how to get your GoDaddy account and link it right here to your domain that you have built with Adobe Portfolio. So then you have search optimization. You can add a meta description. Meta descriptions are really powerful. So for this meta description, I'm just gonna put the portfolio Portfolio of Blake Rudis. So what this is keywords, okay? The keywords here are Blake Rudis. So what's gonna happen is if I have meta tags here for my name, I have a meta description here with my name in it, and I have a website title that's Blake Rudis, chances are that in a week or so, when someone types in Blake Rudis, this will probably end up being on the top of the Google search bar, okay? Because all of these little SEO, search engine optimization things that happen to fall in line. Again, a whole nother tutorial I could talk to you all about. Favicon. These are those little things that appear at the top of the internet when you're on there with a little teeny tiny little logo. You can create a favicon. Again, 16 pixels by 16 pixels. I'll probably create one that's just a B and an R. That way it looks like that. I haven't done that yet. A web clip icon. This is one of those things that if someone saves it to their phone, it'll have a little preview here. I would suggest using the same thing as your favicon. Now, site options. You can enable the light box when people click on images for your pages or your projects. I would suggest that. What that means is that when they click on an image, it'll just pop up in their browser with the little light box, and when they click away from it, it'll go away. I would also disable the right click to protect your images. What would happen here is if someone sees one of your images on here and they right click and say save as, they could then save their image, your image, to their desktop. I would definitely do this, disable right click protection, but one of the other things that you want to do here is you want to go ahead and make sure every image you upload to here is only 1200 pixels on the longest side at 72 dots per inch. And the reason for that is that you won't have too large of an image being uploaded to here so that when people do steal it, if they could steal it, they're only going to get a very small print size. So disable that, and then we'll also go into some other things. There's some other things you can add here. Transition on hovers, so subtle fades in and fades out over linked elements. Different things you can add to this site as you go along. Password protection. You can actually password protect certain parts of your website so that when people go on there, they can only get onto that page if they have a password. So you could maybe lock down the projects here to a password of 123. And now if someone wants to look at my projects, the only way they can do that is if they type in 123. I'm not going to do that because I don't need password protection. And if you don't want your website to be published, you can go ahead and take it offline while you edit it, and then you can publish it later, okay? And then you have your account here where you can manage all your account details. That's the basics of the settings of the site. So now let's actually add some stuff to the site and get into this, okay? So anytime you click on an area of the site, you can see that you have a little pencil to edit a certain part of your portfolio here. So you also have this panel over here that you can move around if it's in your way as you're editing things. Go ahead and do that. And then down here, there's also this thing that usually pops up that says copyright so-and-so. You can customize the footer so it says, hey, I have mine that says, thanks for stopping by, thanking them for coming along, and then all images are copyright Blake Rudis. Now on a PC, if you want to type that copyright symbol, it's Alt 0169, and that will make the copyright symbol appear there. Okay, that's Alt 0169. It's called an alt code. Now that's only on PC. It's different on Mac, and I don't quite remember what that is, so I do apologize for that. Now the font, I want all of my fonts to be the same on this site, so I'm going to change that to this Futura PT, and then maybe I want that to be 14 point because it's kind of small. And then you can either have it a line from the middle or a line from the right or a line from the left, and you can watch how things change immediately as you do that. I think this is pretty cool, okay? So if you wanted to add social profiles down here, you can add social profiles too. So you can add some social icons to the bottom if you wanted to do that. I'm not going to do that right now. Maybe I'll do that later. So then right here, let's go ahead and change my name. All right, I'm going to customize this. Like I said before, I want all of them to be Futura PT. I'm going to call this the Portfolio of Blake Rudis. And you can change the size of that too. So if 30 is too big, you can change it down to something like 20, or I like 30. 30 is good because it puts my name at the bottom of it like that. So I have the portfolio of, and then Blake Rudis below that. So that looks pretty good. But again, you can right justify it, you can left justify it, or you can center justify it, okay? And then if you want, whenever someone clicks on that, you can have that link to your projects or your gallery, or not have it linked to anything at all. This would be like clicking on a home link, all right? That now we have that set to our projects, okay? So you could also put an image up there for a logo if you wanted to. I'm not gonna do that. I just like it just the way it is with the text up there. Again, right over here with the projects, we can click on the little circular item here and press customize. So here we can go ahead and customize what this would look like. What I like about this is as you go through here, you're not quite sure what area is going to be edited. If you go to this gallery tiles and then do like this left to right justified, see how that gray bar shows up over projects? That's telling me that it's applying itself right over to this area. So anything I edit here is going to manipulate that object. So I want this font to be a little bit bigger. Let's make that font not 30. I don't want it to be as big as my title. I want it to be slightly smaller than my title. So let's go about 24. Okay. And I can have that right justified. I can have it left justified and so on and so forth. You can also choose the margins here. Okay. So let's go ahead and press done here. And I'm going to click back up to this guy and I'm going to customize this and I'm going to make it right justified and press OK. And then I'll go back down to this one. Because the reason being is we have the margins here. We can set our margins to be top or bottom, so we can make this a little bit farther away from our header or higher up if we wanted to also. You also have the margins of the entire container here. So the width of the container, where that project ends up lying. I want to put this just slightly over from where my name is, so that my name goes to the edge and then this is slightly off by maybe a letter, by the letter S or something like that. It just makes it look like a subcategory of my website, okay? So you can continue to change this stuff. If you want to make it a different color when someone rolls over it, you can do that as well. And then you can go through all these items here as well if you'd like to. I'm going to go ahead and just press done, okay, because that works out for me. Now, what if I don't want just projects up here? I want to add something else to it. How do I do that? Well, I'm going to go to add content and I'm going to go ahead and add a link. And my link is going to be blog. So I'm going to add a link to my blog, which is f64academy.com. So I'm going to do the http ://www.f64academy.com and press add link. So now you see that link shows up right here in our right underneath projects. And now we can go into the little pencil item here and go to customize and edit this. Now what is this? Well, this is a link. So we can go ahead and click on the links section here and we can right justify this one as well and maybe change this to 24-point font also. And by default, it's set to this Proxima Nova, but I have this all set to Futura PT. So you can see how all this stuff is now starting to look like it belongs together on my portfolio here. And I'll go ahead and press done. Okay. So now what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and add another page. I'm going to go to add content and I'm going to create just a regular page. Now this page is going to be about Blake. And press create page. So this new page will come up and it's going to say, what do we want to do? Well, let's upload a file. So I'm going to upload a file of myself here. And this is for my about page. So I've uploaded this file of myself. This is right here. And now I want to, let's say, add a text area here. So in this text area, I'm just going to go ahead and give a brief bio of who I am. Now I've already created this brief bio here. It's over here on a Word document. So I'll just copy that and put that into that text block there and paste it in. It looks like it copied a lot more than just what I had in Microsoft Word. No problem. I'll just go ahead and delete all that stuff. So it's basically saying, who is this? This is me. I'm Blake. Another thing that I like to do here on these pages is add interesting facts. Now, this might actually persuade someone to hire you based off of the interesting facts because they realize that you're human. So interesting facts. I don't like cheese. Yep, that's me. I don't have a middle name. I was on an HG television show once called Superscapes. I had about 15 seconds of fame on there, and I used to be an FA certified master parachute rigger. Let me put master there because it sounds so much cooler. It's like master builder for Lego. So that looks good to me. I'll just go ahead and press update page. And that looks good. Go back to home. And now we have the about Blake above the projects and everything looks kind of odd right here. So let me go ahead and go to manage content and you'll see this about Blake is above the projects and above the blog. Well, now if I just grab this and drag it down, it's now below it. Okay. And now I can even edit that as well. So I'm going to edit that. I'm going to customize. So if we look at page titles here, this is a page. Remember, right justify over here, change that to 24-point font and Futura PT. So now all of it's starting to look the same. Okay. We'll go ahead and press done. So now it looks like we need to add a project. So I'm going to go ahead and go to add content and go to project. And this new project is going to be landscape. All right, I'll just call that landscape and press create page. So when you create the page, it's automatically going to want you to upload some files. You can skip this step, but I already have them selected. So I'll just go ahead and press Find Files to Upload. And if you look right here, I've got landscape, and I'll just go ahead and move this and just grab all of these and open. And it'll go ahead and upload all of these images right to the site. All right, so now that all of the images are uploaded here, all of these are uploaded at 1200 pixels on the longest side at 72 dpi, I'll just go ahead and press Continue. Now it's going to ask me here, what do you want your cover image to look like? Well, let's choose one of my favorite ones here. I'll just choose this one, and I'll just move this over so it's right about there. Get a nice composition in that square and press Crop and Continue. So now it won't let me go until I have a description for all of this stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and add another one here. This one says a selection of Blake's finest landscape photos, and just copy that there. You can put a project date if you want. Creative fields, let's say we're going to call this, we'll call this Fine Arts. Okay, so definitely put a creative field there, and then keywords, just put landscape. If you maybe had a sunset in here, put sunset or beach or long exposure, those kinds of things. Those are all good tags to put here, okay? And then we'll go ahead and press next. If you wanted to upload this to Behance, you could do that. I'm not going to, so I'm going to unclick that and just put Create Project. So now that that's done, we'll just go ahead and press Return to Home. So now here we are on our home page. If you look here, again, everything's not looking quite right. So I'm going to go right here to edit this, customize. And then if we look at project titles, you'll see that this project title is right underneath, that landscape is right underneath the project titles. We need to right justify that, change that font to, let's say, 22-point font. So it's slightly smaller than the word projects, and it's set to Futura PT. Okay, we'll go ahead and press done. So now we can go ahead and preview our site. Okay, we can update that live site, and we'll go ahead and preview it and see what it looks like. So we'll view our portfolio. So now it looks pretty cool. We have one block here. We have our blog. So that's going to take me over to F64 Academy, and it opens that in a new page, which is nice. We have the About Blake section where it's going to take you over here and tell you a little bit about me and who I am and how I do what I do. And then we have our landscape projects here. Again, we can go back to the very beginning to our projects page, and you see how this loads with landscape. That says 2016. This will be a 2016 selection of my favorite images, okay? Nice little selection of photos there. What I love about this is if we go ahead and exit out of here and we go to our portfolio and you actually go to the preview section here, when you preview this, you can see how it looks on a cell phone, whether that's a cell phone that's held vertically or a cell phone that's held horizontally. You can look at a tablet held horizontally, tablet held vertically, or how it would look on a website, and press back to edit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do that again. I'm going to go ahead and add content, and I'm going to add a project, and that new project is going to be macro. Okay, macro, and press Create Project. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead again, find files to upload, and I'm going to go to my macro section that I've already got built out here, and I'm going to go ahead and go to Open, and that'll go ahead and upload all those files into this project. And once all those are selected, it's going to ask me what image do I want to use for my cover image. I'll use one of my favorite macro images, which is this one. This was a split-second lucky shot. Never could get this ever again. And again, I'm just going to copy that, a selection of Blake's finest landscape photos, but instead of landscape, I'm going to call that macro photos. All right, we'll go 2016 for that too. Creative fields, we can call this, we'll just call this one Fine Art also. Fine Arts, and then you have your keywords macro. We'll just do ant, spider, bee, dandelion. Okay, press next, and do we want to upload this to Behance? No, and then go to Create Project. So now we can go to Return to Home here, and we can see that we now have our macro section here, and it lines up just like it should. If we go to Preview, we preview our main site. We now have two blocks here. We have a macro block and a landscape block. So as we add more, we'll do that. I'm going to go ahead and add two more, and I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like when I'm done, because the process is going to be very similar to what you saw before. All right, so now you can see we have Elementographs, we have composites, we have landscape, and we have macro. So we can go ahead and set these up to make sure that they are good to go. We'll go ahead and manage content here. and make sure that we can move these into the order that we want them in. So I want my landscape photos to be first, and then I want my composite work to be second, and my macro, and then my elementographs. Now, what exactly is an elementograph? Well, these are things that I find that I think are really cool, and I photograph them in a still life. I haven't done one in ages, but they were so much fun to me. So I'll just go and press done. So that looks good. So we'll go ahead and let's look at customizing this. Let's customize the actual items in here. So we'll go to manage content and then look at where it says projects. Let's say I want this to have a different title. So I'm going to go ahead and edit gallery title. I'm going to call this portfolio. So it doesn't have to say projects. It can be those portfolio photos. Okay, and press done. So now we have a portfolio with landscape, composites, macro, and elementographs. Now the reason why I stuck these into something like projects instead of galleries is that a gallery is a collection of projects, whereas the project section I'm using here, I'm using the project section that's built into this site basically as the gallery because I like that long form scroll and see the pictures type of look. So let's go ahead and say update live site. So now all the changes that I made are going to be live, and I will go to view my portfolio. See what it looks like. So this is what it looks like. It's live. It's on the web. If you go to blakerudis.com, it is right here. So in the next tutorial, what I want you to watch this next one too, so that you're not just blakerudis.myportfolio.com. You are blakerudis.com or johndoe.com or janedoe.com. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to get your GoDaddy URL. Whatever URL you want that to be, we'll get your GoDaddy URL and we'll get you linked in so that you can have your space on the web look just like this. So to sum it all up, here you are with your Adobe Creative Cloud membership. Not only do you get a Creative Cloud membership with Photoshop and Lightroom in it, you also get your own portfolio that you can put on the web. Now, you saw me. This video took me about 20-25 minutes to create, and that was because I was walking you through every step and teaching you how to make your portfolio. But this really only would have taken me maybe 5 to 10 minutes. I had all my images prepped up, so I was ready to go, and here I am on the web in 5 to 10 minutes, all with the help of Adobe Creative Cloud. So again, my name is Blake Rudis here with F64 Academy. If you like this, please like it, share it, comment it, send it to a friend, especially a friend who has Photoshop CC so that they can get themselves on the web today. There's no excuse for you not to have a space on the web. Thank you very much.